The Pownal Select Board meeting in order on Thursday, March 16th, 2017, at 7:02.
Cozy.
Whenever everybody's ready.
We're ready.
One more.
Agenda approval of the minutes, 3/9/17, warrants, mail, transfer station, supervisor's monthly board meeting, new business promise community grant, and Vermont Climate Economy Model Communities Program. And we had a recount for the 3-year selectmen was performed yesterday. And it didn't change nothing.
Yeah, we're here.
I assumed that was you said there.
And you added that VOSHA complaint.
Yeah, you need a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Approval of the minutes of 3/9/17.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
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 Warrants. Payroll ending 3/12/17. And that was $7,922.01. Accounts payable for 3/17/17. And that was $18,327.45. And the bigger ones for that was the Bennington County Sheriff, $3,145. LHS Associates Incorporated, that was $3,296.93.
That was for the voting ballots and stuff.
And TAN was $2,269, and the IRS $2,644.45. Get a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
I abstained from the payroll because I'm in it.
Then it can't pass.
The two.
Oh, yeah, what am I thinking?
I think Ronnie
I'm
voted.
not used to that.
We all said aye, I thought. Or, well, two of us did.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
I think we do. Don't we need 3?
You need 3 for a quorum. 2 won't
Three.
pass it.
So you have to wait until. Well, I can say aye. I just want people to know that I have a pay check in there for my zoning. So
There we go.
just so people know.
You can also leave it out.
Yeah.
Vote.
okay.
Yeah, you can leave it out. Vote
It's
on it
fine.
next time.
It's over. I already cashed it. No.
We know you're honest. Nelson, we know you're honest.
We've hashed it enough. So, Bennington County Sheriff's Department had 2 9/11 hang-ups, 1 larceny from a building, 4 agency assist, 2 public assist, 1 burglary alarms, 2 suspicious events, 1 agency assist, fire rescue, 4 VIN verifications, 11 directed patrols all over town, 34 traffic stops all over town, 1 juvenile problem, and 28 speeding tickets, no registration, 2 no registration, 2 operating license suspended, 1 no insurance, 18 written and verbal warnings. Now, Ellen sent this in, attached resolution for the board to approve of the meeting scheduled for tonight. Need to sign the bottom of the first page. This is to open an account at People's Bank. Seek approval to set up an account with People's United Bank.
Move to sign it.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
What's that for?
Just set up a
Set
deposit
up a
account.
deposit account at People's Bank.
For taxes or?
I would assume it's for tax sale related items.
We just did it.
Yeah, I don't know for sure, but I assume she needs an account.
Liquor license, got one here for the American Legion, Post 90.
Move we approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. We all gotta sign that anyway. So. So we got here ADA questionnaire, self-evaluation and transition plan. Americans with Disability Act intends to make all aspects of publicly provided programs and services accessible to everyone. So they have asked RPCs to help collect information from municipalities regarding this ADA self-assistance. So that's what it is. Designate an ADA coordinator, provide public notice of ADA requirements, establish agreements procedure, develop internal design standards, specifications and detail, assign personnel for the development of the transition plan and completing it, approve a schedule and budget for the transition plan, monitor progress on the implementation of the transmission plan.
This is working with the Regional Planning Commission now?
Yes,
All right. So we need to talk to them.
we gotta, it's all with the American with Disabilities Act, so we'll have to go over that with the others involved. All right, zoning administrator. Report, monthly log, you had, for months, first and second month, I guess. Number of applications, 6. Number accepted, 6. 3 verifications, 2 permits, and for a house and a pavilion or something?
Yeah.
What you got there?
Yeah.
All right. Started drive around for spring cleanup request. Various calls on types of uses within zones. Real estate, realty, companies question on uses. Question on possible uses for the old church, North Pownal. That's the zoning administrator's report.
The Catholic Church?
Yeah.
Yeah. The other ones are still in practice.
I know that, yeah. I heard that.
We can still use them. Okay. Anyway, got a letter here from the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. We received a notice of alleged workplace hazards at your work site, 467 Center Street. Specific nature of the alleged hazards is as follows. Mold throughout the building and mildew under the building. Exit signs not to code. We've not determined whether the hazards as alleged exist at your workplace, and we do not intend to conduct an inspection at this time. However, because allegations of violations and or hazards have been made, we request that you immediately investigate the alleged conditions and make any necessary corrections and modifications. Please advise me in writing no later than March 17th. I guess you'll have to get that out tomorrow, Linda. The results of your investigation. You must provide supporting documentation of your findings. This includes any applicable measurements or monitoring results, photographs, video that you believe would be helpful, and a description of any monitoring action you have taken or in the process of taking, including documentation of the corrected condition. This letter is not a citation or notification of proposed penalty, which according to the Occupational Safety and Health Act may be issued only after an inspection or investigation of the workplace. It is our goal to assure that hazards are promptly identified and eliminated. Please take immediate, corrective, appropriate action where needed. If we do not receive a response by March 17 indicating that appropriate action has been taken or that no hazard exists and why, a VOSHA inspection will be conducted. An inspection may include a review of the following: injury and illness records, hazard communication, personnel protective equipment, emergency action or responses, bloodborne pathogens, confined space entry, lockout, tagout, and related safety items. Well, I'd like to comment on that. We spent quite a lot of money, and I'm sure that Nelson and, well, Jason, I think, is very familiar too. He's been here, all this stuff has been, we've been trying to get this place habitable, or we've been making a lot of improvements. And also, Tom Shuey's here, and he has been, well, he did a lot of the direction of this stuff. And we've had this place thoroughly cleaned, and the rug and stuff has been taken care of with some mold remediation stuff. We've got air filters, one in this room and one in the other room. High quality air filters. We have right up there, we got a brand new exit lights over both doors, which I believe are up to code. They were put in by a master electrician. And so we have been working on this. Plus we also have improved the walk. We spent around $50,000 on this place. We've done work on the ceiling and work on the lights.
Did you change the heating?
In the basement, we've taken and we put a new heater in.
New heating system.
In the basement, we've got, it's wired for, I don't know if the humidifier's down there, but there is a,
Humidifier's on.
It's
And,
down.
It's on a humidistat. We have a
that,
fan, we have a dehumidifier,
yeah,
and then we also have a fan with on a humidistat switch. So
Right.
when it gets to like 50%, the fan kicks on, and we have vents that'll bring the stuff back through. So we've addressed everything
We've-
on there. Everything on there is.
so Linda, I
I'd
guess
like to
what,
read it,
Sure.
but I'm pretty sure we have.
I have a couple questions on it. First question, do we have an employee that's notified us of concerns?
Yeah.
Okay. And the other question is, we have to reply to this tomorrow. How long have we had this letter?
Call.
Well, it came in the snowstorm, so
it
it came
says March
yesterday.
8th is when it was sent.
March 8th, okay.
So that didn't really give us much time considering the mail and stuff. But
What I would have Linda contact the person and basically say that due to the snowstorm, we just received this. Could we have until next week to respond? Because we're putting together all the information that shows what we have done.
yes, because we have invoices and stuff that I would suggest that
Can I look at
Linda
it just for a
grab
second?
that stuff.
Well, you've got a new ceiling. You've got things you did above the ceiling as well. You've got these air purifiers that you've got here that we change filters on regularly. There's a lot of stuff we've done. I know you talked about the rug. We covered the ground underneath. We did all the other stuff. And exit lights, new smoke detectors. There's a ton of stuff that we've done on the inside, along what we've done on
Plus
the
that
outside.
expensive walkways and railings,
I
and
think-
also a new door on the front.
I mean, if we even had to show them a Xerox copy of that date on the envelope, I mean, I don't know how they can.
Yeah,
I don't know.
3/13/17.
We did.
got a first
You did.
notice here.
So you have
We-
that data.
We have an inspection that was done with data that provided us, that's why we have what we have, and that should be provided as well, and show the actions that we've done to answer those questions.
Take pictures too.
Yeah, oh yeah, pictures.
Before and after.
Yeah.
So you've got a before and an after air quality.
Yeah, we got the inspection and some before pictures, and now we've got what we've done to answer some of those questions.
Recommendations, a lot of them are recommendations. These air purifiers were recommended. They had a whole list of things. Ceiling tiles were changed.
Insulation of the
Carpets,
ceiling.
all new insulation, heating system. Downstairs, they got plastic on the floors. And
Heavy,
there's-
heavy, very heavy plastic.
Plastic covering up so the moisture don't come up to the ground. We've done, I think we've worked on that pretty expeditiously and done quite a lot of improvements in a short time.
Well, and I think that's what you're gonna show in this letter that we do the response to. Here's what we've been told, here's what we've done, and at this time, we're still looking to do more as we proceed. You know, well, one of the things was a new heater that you put there. You know, the other one's on the floor where people would leave the shoe or something on it, they could set a fire. I think there's just things we need to highlight and that we're not ignoring what's here.
No, and with the upgrade of the heater, it's, the air is brought in from outside, not from the
The
crawl
basement.
space, the cellarway. The other one it was.
Yeah.
This here has its own, it takes the air in for the fire and exhausts out, it's a
Exterior
double
combustion
pipe.
air.
So you get more
Direct
fresh
ventilation.
air.
So, I mean, that's up to code, that's,
Right. I mean, I think we could also mention the fact that we are actively pursuing a new building or a new location. Even though the vote did get turned down, I'm sure we're still gonna continue.
Well, I think the answer to, yeah.
Back to the
I
drawing
think-
board, you
I
know.
think that the answer is that, we would write in there that, there was an active committee that actually put forward a new building, and it was turned down at this time, and the town will, in some method, pursue answering the needs of the town for the office.
Have you rescheduled any meetings for that?
No.
So the select board hasn't acted
We're,
on
wa-
that
we're,
just
wa-
yet?
we're waiting for a full board. We know one of those people have strong opinions, so it'd be good that we have a full board, in my mind, and then I think we should discuss what the next steps are. And I know Ronnie, I think that's what Ronnie is too.
my thoughts are, we just had a vote on it. Let's cool our jets here and then we'll figure out, I'm sure there'll be, if someone comes forward with a good suggestion or a different idea or something, but there's no sense of hashing the same thing over and over again
I agree with you.
on that. If you got a better suggestion, maybe even a little lesser building, but something
Right.
that's adequate, then it's a new game. But as
Yeah.
far as just taking the same thing and we can't,
Yeah, we need a new
You know.
approach.
we need a new
I
approach.
think, yeah, the select board should redirect the committee and
Well, and maybe there'll be a new committee, because, I've been on that committee for 24 years and we seem to be spinning on the same thoughts. Maybe we need new people.
Young people.
jot that right down and you let me know. You send me a letter. I've got a whole plethora of ideas I'd love. Hit a little data analysis. I would love to sit down
Good.
in this committee.
Good.
You.
That's what we're looking
You
for, is
make
other
sure
ideas.
when you guys address that, I would.
Well, we need to know what the full board wants to do, because maybe they want to keep the old committee, I don't know. I know I've been on it forever, and we've looked at sites here, back when Bartel Lodge was able to be switched over. No, and we've looked at other sites. It's time to look anew.
Or downsize the project to a lesser cost.
Do something, we gotta
Yeah.
have a new fresh idea for something before we make a move. We just had a vote on one idea.
Yep.
And I mean, I'm against having a vote every week for this thing. I think that's silly.
Well, Ronnie, they're not. that
Isn't that how budgets pass? You just keep running them every
Sometimes,
week?
yeah. It's
But
ridiculous.
anyway,
And you pay for the election every time.
but I mean, as far as this letter goes, I think we've performed pretty well. And Linda can get that information together. You just call them or whatever and tell them that we didn't get, the first notice on that was 3/11, wasn't it?
313.
3/13. That's it. So,
We can
Anyway.
say our first meeting was today.
Right.
that's right.
First
And
time the
so,
board has seen it.
I mean, we got competent people,
posted
but we can't turn back the
immediately
clock.
for
They
the-
have to do what they can do.
Yeah, but the board
the
never saw
instructions.
to respond or anything until
Right.
tonight. The
Right.
boards never saw.
Right. But I think we got some pretty good information there. And I know that Linda called the electrician today, because I was right here when she did it. So I know she must have got the information from him. So, to make sure that these were, I'm sure they're up to code. I mean, the guy's a master electrician, and he just put them up.
No, we did.
I guarantee you they are.
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
The question was.
And
whether
also, I
that
mean, we
was
got a guy
functional
who's
or
a
not.
builder who's been overseeing this
Probably
thing,
They're
so.
tied together. That's just an emergency light system.
But is it functional? If it isn't,
I'm
they'll
su-
wrait you up for it.
It was functional, we lost power just last week.
And
We
that was
worked under these emergency lights.
These and the ones behind you. Okay.
All right,
I
now,
would have given me enough. They usually work about a half hour. Then the
we had
battery goes.
some excess weight permits. We looked at all the rest of them before, but anyway, so
There's
Barrett,
only one
Huh?
of them, you
Just
still
do
need a
this.
signature on one, and then we can read the list.
all right,
There's two of them that
There.
needs a signature. There's one down inside. He didn't sign Tam's either.
Oh,
Down in there.
I don't see no flag on that one yet.
No.
There's the wrong flags.
This one here is,
last week when you told me they were signed.
Well,
So you can
Kelly
sign that one.
Fuels.
That's the new one.
that's a brand new one here, so.
That's a new one.
Kelly Fuels wants a weight permit. Somebody gonna say okay?
Well, how about could we just read the list?
We'll read them all, and then
That'd be
I'll
a
just
lot
sign,
easier.
I'll sign the two that are there, that
Okay.
are supposedly left. Barrett Trucking Company, Carroll Concrete Company, and Newport Sand and Gravel, Eiler Brothers Trucking and Excavating, Gurney Brothers Construction, Kelly Fuels, Quality PLG, Renault Brothers, Robert Green, TAM, United Natural Foods, Valley Crane Services, Vermont Electric Power Company, and West Oil Company.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. So I'll sign that. If I can find the other one. Let's see.
And when you wanna look, and you can move on.
Yeah, why don't you see if that's still in there? Okay, so that takes care of the mail. And, so I guess it's up to Tom Shuey, step up here. Transfer station supervisor, give us your report there, Tom.
All right. Well, not a lot going on this time of year, except
Probably not,
Pushing
probably just
snow.
trying to keep warm and stay
pushing
out
snow,
of, stay out of the
pushing more
snowbank.
snow. And yesterday's the first time I ever got my Tundra stuck. I got stuck in a snowdrift right in front of the swap shop.
Wow.
Oh, you had to scarf over the tires, so.
Tam's
But
signed.
really, the big thing is Stan and I got the waste container covers they're all working really good. They look good, they work well, they cover everything, so we should be in great shape with A&R on that. TAM's increased the hauling fees for $5 a pull, which actually I went back, even with the stuff the year before I started, it was still the same price. So that's that only amounts to about $30 a month more. So that's in over 3 years. That I don't know what happened before that. I didn't have access to those things. But and then our electrician and I met last week, and we went over where we're going to put some stuff, because we have to build that little shed in the end for the organics, and we're going to put a fan and lights in there, and we're going to do some other things and so forth. And then Bob's Tire, I remember we talked about this before. They called, and this lady from accounts receivable from them was looking for the Pownal transfer station in New York, and I said, no ma'am, this is the one. This is the Pownal transfer station. Send a bill to 411, P.O. Box 411, Pownal, Vermont. She said, nope, it's in New York, and she hung up, and that's it. I have no idea. I told her twice where to send it. I don't know. So they'll catch up to me sometime, I suppose, but you only tell them how many times, so. Okay, that's pretty much what we have. Oh, I did buy a new pallet jack for the TVs and stuff. I forgot to put that in here, because we have to get these. We're getting an awful lot of these big, huge, old TV. I mean, these things are monsters, and you put a couple of them on a pile or work them around, but you can't put a Gaylord over them. So we have to put the shrink wrap around them and so forth, and then we got to move them out to do that and stuff, because we had no way of moving the pallets. Because they're up on that elevated pad. So I did buy one of those. We have a chain, and it's locked up down there at all times, So that's pretty much it with the transfer station right now. And I want to again, I must thank the highway department for their great work and clearing us out and everything. They're doing a fantastic job. They really helped us out a lot this year. And I know these guys were tired the other day. They still came down and. They were ready to go home, but they came down and got us all cleaned out.
One of the issues used to be the snow coming off the roof onto the people that were putting stuff. With all the snow that we got this time.
No, my first summer here, I had Stan Wilkinson help me from the highway department when he was full time, and Hap had gotten all these plastic snow
All the
guards.
things to pop up.
He had them, but he never put them on. He said they were wrong, but they really weren't. We put those on the whole building.
It's working good?
And yeah, they've been fine. We haven't had a problem with them.
I was gonna say,
No.
I'm thinking of the storm we just had, and how much snow's on my roof.
Yeah. Well, I have a snow rake there, but I can hardly reach it anyhow. So no, we have them the whole way across, and we've had multiple snows that had stuff, and we've never had any come off of it. So we're in pretty good shape as far as that's concerned. When I saw the falling snow signs that Linda got for me to put on the building here, which I'll do Saturday when I come over for the recycling and stuff. I thought, well, gee, I don't need them down there. We have one down there, but really now everything's in pretty good shape.
Yeah,
I
we
haven't
need-
seen anything coming off of there.
We need to knock icicles. I saw when I came up the walk today, there's icicles coming, they could fall on somebody and hurt them. We need to knock them.
Well, I have, maybe I should dig that,
A long pole or something.
well, no, I have a roof rake over at the transfer station. So maybe what I'll do is,
Send Stanley over.
Or have one of the
I'll
guys,
give it to Stan.
have Joel send one of the guys over to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I
Stanley
have
takes
it.
care of the walk, so.
I use it some on the building, but yeah, I should get that out,
I'm
so
just-
put it at the front so it's a little easier to get to and so forth, and I can give Stan a call if you want me to, and then, because he's gonna have to shell all the stuff off after.
Yeah, I
he
noticed
gets
it's on the
pulled out.
older part of the building, not this newer part. But,
Yeah,
it's,
well, you have the gutter on this side too, which kind of holds it up so it doesn't slide off quite so badly.
just
but
that the
you're right, we
icicles
yeah.
are probably 2 feet or bigger out there, and if they fall off on somebody, we'll be,
I understand.
Couldn't hurt.
So we'll get.
The question, so, the organics, where is that building gonna be located?
Well,
over
in
there?
the tipping shed.
Yeah,
On the end, on the south end, closest towards the office, sticks out. Well, what we're gonna do right there is just build a little shed in there, just 3 sides and a roof. It goes right back in against the other thing, and that way I can put the organics in there, and we're gonna have a fan in there. Maybe not so much in the winter, but definitely in the summer, we want to deal with, so we keep the odors down and so forth, and it won't draw vermin.
so you can take power off the bigger building and bring it right over?
The power's in that building. No,
Oh, he's talking about
the main power panel
Is in that
You're
building?
is in
talking about
the
in the bigger
shed. Now,
building, right?
here's one thing I want to do. There's a double barn door track in there, and I'd like to take that down so that when we run the conduit up, we don't have to make a bunch of bends and so forth. It's not doing anything.
Okay.
No,
We
we
have a
put it-
roll door there now.
yeah.
Do you want to sell it somehow? Because it's a long one. It's for 2 doors. It's a double track. I'll
You-
take it down and
You have
we'll
no
put
other
it
way
down.
to use it?
Well, we hope to put a building up there in the next year,
Well,
next
we
year or
might
two.
we might be able to use it on something like that if we
Okay.
put to cover in the tires or even cover in the backhoe. At least we get
That's
in
not
there.
what
So we can
But I can just
tuck
store
it up in the rafters or something for now, store it up there.
I'll find a place for
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
I can find a place. It's galvanized. I mean, it looks like it's brand new, really. I don't know if they ever used it much, but I do want to take that down. We'll pull the dumpster out, and I have my scaffolding and wheels, and we'll just
Okay.
pull the whole thing down and get it taken care of.
Good.
Are we having many people coming over, helping themselves after hours, or is that pretty much?
No, not in this weather. You're not.
No, I mean, any,
No, I don't. No, I haven't lately, but I've had some people misrepresenting their count on their trash.
Yeah.
it's just typical.
And I was down at BJ's, and we talked about the cameras. I found a set of 4 cameras with a 500-foot range.
Oh, good.
Pretty
And then-
reasonable too, right?
Yeah, it wasn't that much.
Yeah.
And they were down at BJ's, and I do want to do a little bit more investigation on them to see. But I'm thinking that if this thing would work, it'd be great, because I could put them there. I could watch the people dumping the stuff, and I could also keep them there, and they're motion activated.
Yeah.
So we're not,
So you're not
using
filling
up a lot
disk
of space in the DVR and so forth.
Yeah.
But I've looked at that when Carol and I were down there last
I
Thursday.
think it makes sense.
Yeah. So, but it's just working out pretty well there. And like I said, the highway department, I know those guys were beat, but they they sucked up and came up. So,
Good.
they're really doing well.
Okay.
So that's about it for for the transfer station. Now, back to the town office, I got a call from Jim Theron yesterday. And I saw it in the paper this morning. I was a little surprised to get in that soon. And basically, I told him what we did. You know, we've addressed the issues of that letter. Everything's been addressed on that letter. And I wasn't sure, but I thought Stan did the exit signs and emergency lighting. So, I mean, that is up to code for sure, you know. And if you want me to craft a response form with all the things that we did and so forth, maybe with Linda's help, we can get the stuff, I'd be more than willing to do that. But somebody's got to talk to him tomorrow, because that's the date. I'll let that be you.
You know, actually, the banner took a photo of this office room shooting that direction, and I'm wondering if maybe they caught that exit sign.
Yeah, that's
Isn't lit?
that's not, this is the lit exit sign here.
But the photo showed that one.
Probably,
Well-
it could be any exit site, that's why I asked about that. When they come in and inspect my building, if you have something there, and if it doesn't function the way it's supposed to meet code, you'll get written up for it. And if that exit sign, in his mind, should be a lit, he'll write you up for that.
Possible, I don't know those
Is there an
exact
indication
codes.
when the complaint was made?
I don't know.
Could have been 6 months ago.
No, the
Oh, I
7th.
got that.
I believe it's dated
It
the
was dated
7th.
like the 8th or something.
Yeah, the 8th, I think.
The
Is
day
Yeah,
after,
and
they
the
notified.
day after the
March 8th.
election.
That's when the
On
notification
March
came.
And that's when-
8th,
It's the day
They
after.
received
we
it.
received a notice of alleged workplace hazard March 8th, so that was directly after election.
Right after.
Right.
So when you did this sign, why didn't you do this sign?
That's not
Wasn't
really,
It's not
that's
really
not
But again,
really an exit. This is the exit.
Yeah.
Well,
If
That's
you can
what
see,
you go in the other
that
room,
one, you
that's
can
all
get
I-
there.
So why
Yeah.
didn't you just take that down?
Yeah.
No, that's,
Yeah, you
that was,
could.
I didn't realize there was one there, but
Yeah.
that's what I do.
Right,
I've got
because
one
the
like that
exit
in
is over
the, in
there.
the,
Yeah.
I got one like that in the transfer
Yeah, I
station
mean, it's,
office.
it's a courtesy
I mean,
that
we
you
don't
can
need one,
exit that
we
way.
don't need
You
one
don't
lit,
need
because
it.
if there's a fire in there, you're gonna know it.
Yeah.
It's only 10 by 12.
yeah, I'm gonna say there's no space there.
Yeah,
But
it's
ten-
only that. We don't need a lit one there, trust me. But, we did have a little problem though when the power went out here, last week. Couldn't open the cash register.
Yeah, that is a problem.
So I have a solution. I have a thing. I'm going back to Pennsylvania next weekend for my nephew, and I have an inverter that I can put into things. So I'll take care of it. But I'm going to have something there that we can hook to a battery and then at least let the thing will run. You know, it doesn't take much power, but thank goodness we had a little extra money in the. You know, I left some change, and we always have a couple extra bills in the box, or we'd have really been in trouble. But you know, we just didn't work. But you know, and then the other thing, let's go back to the office here. I have a piece of an MDO board. I made a bunch of signs I'm going to be putting up on Saturday down to labeling each dumpster, to make it a lot easier to tell people, because we're getting a lot of new people coming in getting permits. You know, which dumpsters, which one, just tell them the number, and then it'll make it a lot simpler for them. But I've got a large piece of this MDO. It's an exterior plywood type of thing. It's good for signs. I've used it last 30 years for making signs for commercial properties. And if I make a half circle out here and put it on the front of the little addition the little roof we put on the front. And then I was going to take it to a sign place and have them just letter the thing, Pownal Town Office, and then we'll just mount it up there with some stainless steel screws and so forth. But it's a 14-inch diameter, so it's 28 inches wide. There's a 14-inch radius, it's 28 inches in diameter, so it'll just fit in there very nicely and so forth. We'll just paint it white.
We still don't have anything on the building that says town office, right? No.
No, but I'll get that
Okay.
done. But I need to get that,
Okay.
get that piece cut. But it's a perfect piece. It's left over from the other stuff, so
Okay.
we may as well use it.
Does Lucy still live in town? Lucy, the person who did the sign when you enter panel?
McNulty.
McNulty,
yeah.
thank you.
I don't know.
Yes, she's still.
She did, yeah, she does. know. Nice
Somebody?
work.
Do you have the
Lucy
name?
McNulty.
Yeah,
Lucy.
Linda can.
Okay,
Yeah,
you can give me the contact information. I'll get the thing and I have white paint too, so I have the paint and everything. I'll just get it cut, get it ready to go, paint both sides, and then get it to her if that's your wish.
She still does it.
We'll find out. I'm certainly not going to
Find
use
out.
my printing on it. I'll tell you that. Hey, I can build stuff, but don't ask me to write it out. You know, well, no, that's not going to work.
She doesn't miss it.
That's going to hurt. But
I'm okay with him doing that. I guess it
Sure.
needs something from the
Sure.
board.
Yeah, I think we did it months ago. We asked to
yeah,
take care of it.
Yeah, well, I was going to do it right at the first of the year, but I've been ill.
Sure.
Just
So, but I can take care of that now.
Very good.
Okay.
Sounds good.
You all set?
I'm good. If you guys, do you want me to help with
Yeah.
the response and
I
stuff?
would like that.
Yeah. you can
Okay,
help-
well,
you
then
can help
then we'll do
because
that. I'll
You
get
were
together.
involved with it, so
Right, I
I mean,
found
Well, that's
found
what I
that
figured,
folder.
you know,
Yeah.
once he called me yesterday, I thought, oh boy, this sounds like a beaut. Yeah.
and I'm sure
But we'll
you
do
dealt
it.
with OSHA before on job sites. So
Yeah, I have.
I know I've dealt
You
with
know, and it's not, you know, sometimes it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. But yeah,
Okay.
we'll get together beginning of the
First thing
weekend.
we'll start with, I'll make the call to Mr. Whipple and,
it. See what happens there.
Right.
yeah, let him know that we just received the notification.
Okay. And we'll take, I'll
Start
talk to you,
from there.
I'll talk to you next week then. And then we'll
okay.
see how you made out with that.
Thanks a lot, Tom.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Yep.
You're welcome all. Everybody have a nice evening now.
You too.
You too.
You too.
New business, Promise Community Grant.
Okay, so I'm Karen Galise, I think you all know me. So over 29 years ago, my husband and I made the decision to move to Pownal, and we raised our kids here. And at the time when I moved to Pownal, I was shortly after I moved, I was on the school board, and I was a representative for SVSU, and I was involved in the recreation committee and the brownies and the Cub Scouts and the 4-H group, and I was a soccer coach. And but then my kids grew up and they went off to Mount Anthony, and they left town. A couple of them left town, and for a number of years, I really felt, in retrospect, that I pretty much slept in Pownal and went to work in Massachusetts and did my shopping down there and belonged to boards in that state. So it was upon my second retirement that people approached me about working here in Pownal. And last summer I had an opportunity to take a ride down to the trailer parks. And I have to be honest with you, I had never been down there. And I was appalled and upset with myself for never taking a trip down there. And I was also greatly upset that nothing had ever been done to straighten that situation out. But anyways, so because of my position here in Pownal, I went to a meeting with Bennington County people who go to, lawmakers, and spoke about my concern about the fact that there wasn't any subsidized housing for people in poverty. And I was pretty passionate about it. And shortly after that, I got a call from Robin Strogum, who is the Building Bright Futures representative for Bennington County. See, I still go back. And telling me about an opportunity for a grant for Pownal called Promise Community. And how the grant worked was that you had to do a proposal, and I'm going to pass you out some information. A proposal.
We have a copy.
Oh, you do? Okay, but there's a little bit more here about, and I don't know what, I know Jason had come to me. So, she had asked me to get a group of people from Pownal together, and also asked me if we could have the meetings at Oak Hill, because we do have a conference room there that's bigger than this space. So it seemed like that would be the answer to, or that would be an opportune time to get some money to help, particularly with young children and here in Pownal, to get them ready for school. So since October, Shannon's on the committee with me, and there are a number of other people. There's actually a list of some committee members, but we have grown since then. So the initial thing that we had to do is we had to apply to be part of the grant. So we met, and a number of things that we talked about is that, you know, what should all children have in Pownal? What is unique about Pownal? And so you'll see some of our lists in the back of this packet. And we were able to get into the process of writing the grant. It's now up to $150,000. You'll see in here it refers to 125, but they've thrown in another $25,000. And part of this process is having what they call community cafes, and inviting the residents of Pownal to get together and to come up with ideas to use this money. And I want to make it clear that even though I am the director of Oak Hill, this does not mean anything. It's not related to Oak Hill. Okay, we've had our meetings there. A couple of my staff members are on the committee. They're Pownal residents. But again, it encompasses a lot of people in this community, including the principal of Pownal Elementary School and people from the Head Start program. So again, we really need community interest to figure out how to spend this money. It has to be a community decision. And basically what they would like the money to be used for is to prepare kids to succeed in school. You know, we've had a lot of discussions within our group about, you know, ways that we would like to see the money spent, from food trucks to a community center. But again, we've got to really get the people from Pownal out there and give us their ideas. So we're going to have 2 community cafes in April, and I'll give you the flyers on that. And we invite you to attend. And you know, once we listen to the people of Pownal, and again, everybody is invited to come to our meetings. If you want to be on the email list, you're welcome to join us. Actually, I've talked to Jason about it, and he gets the emails, I still believe, from our meetings. You don't? I'll have to talk to Kate Hunt.
Okay, all right, thank you. I got one.
You did? So Kate Hunt is, or Kate, I don't know what Kate, do you all know Kate Hunt? She's a teacher over here. Caitlin Hunt.
Yes.
She grew up here in town. She is actually going to be the moderator at these meetings. We kind of voted her in today. So she wasn't there, but you know, she grew up in this community. She's familiar with this community. She's a teacher at the school. She's very well spoken, and I think that she will do a good job at these community cafes. So that's what Promise Community is about.
Yeah, so if you can just help spread the word, it would be great.
Yeah, and if you want to come, it'd be great too.
Yeah, I guess I'd like to throw a couple ideas out there. One of the things that I see is as you said, you went down and visited our third world. And basically what you're looking at is kids who need to learn hygiene, need dental, need a bunch of stuff like that, which I don't see on your list. And I'm not sure how you would handle that.
Well, we had a discussion about, the fact that there's no laundromat. The closest laundromat for many of these people down there is in North Adams or on the other side of Bennington.
Oh, there's not one in Williamstown anymore?
No. And, you know, and Todd has said that, you know, when the kids come to school, they come to school in dirty clothes.
And that's interesting, because there is public water and sewer in that area.
Yeah.
Which, so if somebody had the forethought, that might be a good.
Well, I was going to ask Ron, you know, he's got that property down there next to Hillside House. Maybe you should put a laundromat in. You'd make a bundle.
Well,
I would manage it for you, Ron.
There's no wastewater down
Oh, there's no wastewater.
there. Yeah, so, and there's a lot of wastewater with laundromats.
And the other thing, and you're right, and the other thing is, you know, we also talked a lot about the fact that, you know, for us who, you know, I think come from middle class households, we don't think about driving to Bennington. You know, when my kids are in school, I would leave North Adams and drive all the way up to Bennington, pick them up from sports activities. But for a lot of people in this community, making that trip to Bennington for commodities or going to the dentist is, you know, it cuts into their budget.
Well, and some of them, I'm sure, don't have the means to even do that.
Yeah.
And so they're sort of trapped in their environment where they are, because they don't get outside it. And I think those are the sort of things that, you know, maybe a good transportation system
Yeah, we
that
talked
once a
about-
week
yeah,
or whatever. Because I think the biggest thing I see there is this sort of clique that feeds off theirself a little bit. And that the more you can, you know, these children come to the school and it's a whole new environment
Yeah.
for them. How can we change that before the pre-K?
Yeah,
You know,
break the cycle.
what we're doing
Yeah.
now, how can we get there earlier
Yeah,
and make those changes? You know, I do know there's a bookmobile that rides around.
yeah, Kate
But-
does it, yeah.
But do we have a bookmobile that goes somewhere and sits in one of these parks and actually has a reading session where they read something?
Right.
Yeah,
You know, it costs more,
Right.
but those are the sort of things I think that we need to somehow reach out. Because once you change a generation, let's face it, it's taken probably 4 generations to get where that is. And it takes a long time to go back. And I think you know, we keep hollering about housing and the rest of the stuff, but what we're doing is we're seeing people sell the house to the next one and the next one and the next one. So it's never changing.
One of
We
the
have to educate somehow.
when we initially just started our discussions, you know, I had talked to some people who lived down there, and they had told me that often in the summertime, kids go unfed because they don't have the school lunches. And even though they have a lunch program in the summertime up here, they can't get up here. And maybe a food truck. And so then the food truck became a library
A
with a reading
dentist,
room, and then it became a dentist office. So we had a Winnebago by the time we were done,
Yeah,
with
but-
you know, and a laundry, and a washer and dryer in it. And so,
Well, maybe the thing to do is to work with the people that do food for the elderly now for delivery,
Yeah.
and maybe build onto that.
Right.
we've been
Some-
we've been actually working with the woman who runs the SVSU food service program.
Yep,
She's on our
okay,
committee.
Yeah, no.
And again, she has many ideas, and she actually said that if we could get somebody to volunteer down there, they could send the lunches down. It would be somebody that would have to be there to
Yeah,
pass out the
wow,
lunches.
Yeah,
So
I don't know, I think there's lots of potential. It's unfortunate our town is unique in the sense, you know, I saw the unique things, but one of the unique things is the number of kids in need
yeah,
is one of our uniqueness.
and if you look at the data on the state website, it's a needy town.
So if we could do something, and well, let's face it, we got a lot of grants for the wastewater simply because of our needs in our town. The
Yep.
salary level of a lot of the people in the town is very low. So we met that poverty level, and we're still not out of there. We're better off than we were because our salary levels seems to be
Yeah.
higher now, the average, than what it was. But we still we're not getting out of that rut, is what I see. And it takes a lot to do that, more than saying you can't have a home, you're out of here. We can't take that approach. What we need to do is take the approach you're taking, finding a way to change that and make it so people want to live better
Yeah.
and move on. I'm not one for displacing people. And, you know, people know that out there pretty well from me. I think what we need to do, and I think the rest of the board feels, is how can we help them? How can we
Yes.
move
Yeah,
them forward?
you're right.
Right. And also, how can we involve other people in the community? Like, I've heard from people who don't have kids, or they're much older and their kids are all grown, and they're like, what can we do? You know, and think about volunteer opportunities.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of older people who would probably like reading to young kids.
Well, I know the seniors over here at the fire station, they do a Christmas party every year,
Is there a
open to
senior
kids.
group in this community?
Oh, yeah, right here at the fire station.
They
yeah.
meet at
Yeah.
the fire station?
Yes.
What
this
happened
is-
to this place?
That one's no longer.
That one disbanded.
But this is
Oh.
the swinging seniors here. That's their group, and they do a Halloween party. They do
Oh, okay.
open to kids. Yeah.
What day do they meet there?
I
think it's Tuesday and
Tuesdays.
Thursdays.
Yeah.
What time
I
do
think
they
they
And
meet?
they're
twice a
very
week.
active. I can give you
Go
some
into that.
contacts.
Okay, yeah, give me
That would
that.
be
Yeah,
great
I
to
could go
get
and
in.
talk to them.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
very helpful.
Idea.
And the other thing we have a list. We have recreation board.
Yeah.
Do you have the Do you have the
We
contact?
have the contact. Well, it's in the town.
Yes,
Yeah.
the list of people. Okay.
The town report.
Okay.
Yeah, well, Tina Duval's on our board,
Okay.
too.
Have you been in contact with Dr. Brady at Molly Stark Dental Program?
We have not. We
Meg was coming down here and doing hygienist work. I don't know
Where
if
was
she's
she,
still-
well, she,
going to the school, I believe.
Yeah. We had actually somebody come down and do a little dental program at Oak Hill, but I know they go into the schools and they she does actual checkups, right?
She was,
Yeah, I had that. I was a principal in a school in Massachusetts, and we had them come to us as well, but not Dr. Brady, but another group.
But there's actually an office in Molly.
Yeah, I know there is,
Service
yeah.
it.
I did
There's
some work up
There's
there.
an expansion going on.
Oh,
in the
is there?
hospital.
Oh, in
That's
Molly
it.
or the hospital?
In the hospital, it's in the works.
Okay.
It's going.
Now, who
forward.
is Megan?
Meg was a hygienist, Meg Outwater, I believe.
Okay.
I'm sure that Todd would know.
Yeah.
Okay, I could talk to Ted. Yeah.
She still comes.
Yeah, she's still with them, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure she was traveling among the schools doing the hygienist work for them.
And does she work for the public health department or?
I think it was a grant that Dr.
Dr.
Brady had
Brady,
received
okay.
through the state, and it was part
Yeah.
of the dental program.
Okay.
The other thing is, which I can, or even Linda can provide you, is the park owner's name. Because when I met with the latest owner of the Alta Gardens Park, he's really trying hard to make some changes down there. But what he said is it's the difficulty working with some of the people and the
Yeah.
way you have to do it.
Yeah.
And it takes time. But we've also noticed over, I don't know how long, the other person has owned the Green Mountain now, but it's been.
He's made some great improvements.
But it's been, what, 5
At
years?
least 5 years, I wanna say 5.
And he's made because that park used to be identical.
Right.
And
Oh,
it's
really?
And
Yeah.
it's changing. And I think this person, from talking to him, you never know until you actually get working with him, wants to try to do the same in making that one. So what we really need to do is, I think if you have those people sort of work with you, you might find space for something like a
Yeah.
meeting. You might, there's things that they might want to do
Right.
and help. I won't say they will, but.
Whether it's a laundry mat or like an area where people
And maybe
can
one,
have
and maybe one of
meetings
them
or-
would be,
Yeah.
want to invest in a laundromat
Yeah.
themselves. to
Now,
help
would
their
they be
people.
able to put one down there? Was it-
There
Because
is
it's
there is
wetlands?
space in Alta on the top.
Yeah.
There's a huge open space. I don't want to give.
Yeah,
people,
no.
Yeah.
It doesn't
I
know
can get
whether.
you. We can get you some contacts.
Okay, good.
But let's give you the contacts because there is
Yeah.
property that's.
Well, you know, we had a meeting, we've had probably about 8 or 9 meetings, and Bill Botstow came to one, and his idea was we actually rent a trailer in the park and work out of the park, you know, as far
Yeah.
as offering social service
Yeah,
groups.
and this park owner that's trying to renovate and fix some of those might be
Yeah.
at the right timing because things might not be rented.
Right.
So they're all things to discuss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we felt it was important to come to this select board meeting to get some.
Yeah, and I, for one, like everyone else, would love to see some changes made there. And I do know it takes time, but, and I like to see those changes made in a way that respects these people
You're right.
at the same time.
You're right. Okay.
Thank you
Thank
for
you
your
for
feedback.
yes.
Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
your hard work.
Yes, very much.
We enjoyed it.
You got a lot more heavy by the sounds, so.
Maybe I'll run for select board.
There you go. There's always a seat.
Okay. All right.
3 of them comes
Now.
up every year.
You all set, Karen?
I'm all set, Ron.
You solved all the problems that
I'm
arose?
trying to, Ron. It's hard. You have to solve problems too. All
That's right.
Yeah, we
Once in a
were
You
all-
had
while.
to solve one for me the other
We
day.
were all neighbors down there at one time.
We were?
So,
Well, sometimes I feel like Ron's my neighbor still because we spend a lot of time with him.
we got Vermont Climate and Economy Model Communities Program. That's you, Shannon?
Yes.
Well,
Can you just introduce so people,
Shannon
not
is-
everybody
Yes,
knows you?
definitely.
Okay.
So my name is Shannon Barsati, and I've lived here. This is the 10th anniversary. I just put that together that we moved up, and we're on Roizen Road up at the top of Carpenter Hill. And in the summer, I joined the Planning Commission, and so I just became aware of this grant proposal as a member of the Planning Commission and started reading it. It's kind of a mouthful, the Vermont Climate Economy Models Community Program. Did you guys get the letter that I
Yes.
sent? Okay. So what it's looking at, I mean, a lot, when I really started breaking it down and reading it, the goals of this program are very similar to what's in the town plan, the Pownal Town Plan, because the Planning Commission is now revising that with help from the Bennington County Regional Commission.
Right.
And so these goals really just line right up. And really, Pownal already is a model community, especially when it comes to generating solar power. It's the largest in Bennington County, or it's doing more than anyone else in the county. And then you've got the hydro power that's coming up at the tannery, and the new installations that are going up at the transfer station and the wastewater treatment facility. And so I think a lot of what this grant could do is just forward that work by getting more people to the table, because this is from this grant's coming from the Vermont Council on Rural Development. And so what they do is they assemble a team of people to come to the model communities and sort of have dialogue with the people who are involved, business leaders, community members, town government, planning commission, and then sort of develop an action plan. And because it is economy that we're talking about, economic development, I think a big piece that could come out of that is marketing and just saying, look what Pownal's doing. We want to attract more businesses to this area that are going to be providing jobs, clean energy, etc. So it seems like a good idea. And the only problem was when I looked at it, I said, oh, it's due in 2 weeks. So I got to hurry up and get this thing together. And I thought, well, I'm not sure if I can do it, but actually I've been really happy that everybody I've talked to about it has just jumped on board. And I got letters from Trevor Mance at TAM. He wrote a great letter. And then from Bill Scully. You guys don't need to see the letters, but basically they're just saying that they've had a great experience working with the town of Pownal, and that they would really like to see this growth continue. And then we also got a letter from the Bennington County Regional Commission, because they think this would be a great thing for Pownal. So I got those letters together, and then the letter that I sent to you guys, I talked to Nelson and Bill Botto over the weekend. Bill wrote a letter as well. And Nelson and Bill suggested, why don't you put a letter together and present it to the select board, and if this makes sense to you, you sign off on it. I read up a little bit. I watched a webinar, and I wanted to make sure. So what do you want from the town? And at this point, what they're looking for from the town is a letter of support, and to designate at least one person who's involved with the select board to be part of like a steering committee. And I think that the goal of the steering committee is just to get the word out, invite more people from the community to these first meetings, to get the business leaders on board. And then as this larger steering committee develops ideas, that the town will support those. And I think part of that process too is just to find out about more grants that are available, because you've got Efficiency Vermont, you've got the Vermont Agency of Transportation and the Housing and Conservation Board, etc. And so in a way this can just help us narrow down what those resources are. How can we find out about them? How can we use them? So that's it in a nutshell. I can talk more about some of the goals of the program, or if you had any questions about it or about the letter.
Okay.
Has everybody seen the letter?
I read it.
Read it?
I thought it was very well done.
So did
Yeah,
I.
very well done.
I move that the select board signs it.
Second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, guys. I will also, since I'm trying to pull the rest of this together by this weekend, I can send you the narrative. It's only 3 pages, which I thought would make it easier, but that in a way made it harder. And once I get that together with all the letters, I'll send it your way, and then you can look at it, and hopefully we'll be in the running.
Great.
Yeah, and once all the members are here, we can ask who wishes to serve. We can do it that way.
Great. Thank you.
Give everybody an opportunity.
Absolutely.
There's also been a lot of chatter in town about the tennis courts. Is that under the school?
It's going on which tennis courts you're talking about. There's one set down here and there's one at the school.
okay.
Or the one over the school.
Because there's also grants to repair tennis courts.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, the schools we
tennis
used pretty regularly when they were
Yeah, I remember.
when they were in good shape.
Shannon and I were talking earlier today, and
Yeah, it provided adequate parking for people, and the courts were used pretty heavily.
Yeah, they were.
Yep, after hours.
But what about these over here? These are owned by the, are these
Yeah, I'm
usable?
not sure what shape they're in, but they're.
These are used by the roller derby.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
They practice down there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
But I mean, they don't practice all the time.
No, one night a week.
One
I
night a
think.
week or something.
Yeah.
I don't know how
I've
much
got-
damage they do or how much good they do to it, but I mean,
To each other, probably.
Yeah, but they're, yeah, they're
I
there.
know it's used. In the summertime when we're here, they're, seems like the nights we're here, they're here.
And they're, and as Sue and others will tell you, the park in, North Pownell at the moment, because it's tore up by the hydro and stuff where the benches and all that stuff isn't much used, but there are hiking trails and other things down there. So,
Huh.
yep. So, those are things that people just need to be aware of. There's a canoe launch that's down on Lincoln Street, where people put in
Right.
canoes
Yeah.
and take out. There's a lot of things like that in town that really aren't as well known as could be.
Exactly. And if you, I think part of this idea is to do kind of branding of here's what Pownal, here's sort of what Pownal represents, and then have things like signage so that people who are riding their bike, people who want to hike, you know.
Well, actually, we were supposed to have that. We were supposed to, remember this was gonna be a,
Yeah, we approved that,
that's right up
so we
to,
voted on
The
it.
bike trail?
yeah,
Well, it's the one that's coming all,
comes up the east coast, right?
yeah, it's coming up the
Yeah.
whole East Coast, it's
Right.
coming up through, and what they were gonna do was come up Seventh to Barber's Pond, go out Barber's Pond, and I think they were gonna go out Middle Pownell
I
Road.
think they
now
were gonna
it's
come up
going-
Old 7, up Burrington Road.
Oh, that's
right,
Burrington,
Old
right.
Burlington Road and went up Barbers Pond Road.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So where does it come
ways.
from though? New York State?
It's a club.
It's a
It was-
Coming through
touring
Mass.
bicyclists.
Oh,
For
okay.
people that go all over, I guess it
Yeah.
goes.
We'd have to go back and look at our minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to make a
That's
kind of a
what,
good a map for touring
it's
bikes
a-
all the way on the East
That's
Coast,
right, that's right, yeah, DOT
Yeah, okay.
program, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So the best routes.
True.
Yeah,
Because the one in New York State, which goes across the state and starts in Albany,
yeah.
it's kind of
There's also races that occur, bikes in the summer out of Bennington and stuff that come
Oh,
down
yeah.
through Pownell and
Yeah.
stuff. They come through Pownell, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I used
but
to
those
ride my
things-
bike before I
Yeah.
lived on Carpenter Hill Road.
I used to ride on bike paths. I ride on bike paths now.
You don't ride up and down that hill with Julius?
No, Julius does the one in New York City.
Yeah, he
The
does all
five
over.
borough. It
Yeah.
sounds pretty intense.
There's
I've ridden.
another guy that comes up like almost every day in the nice weather, and he's an older guy from I think Bennington. Do you know what I'm
Yeah,
talking
well, he
about?
comes up by my place, yeah.
Yeah.
I see- you
He's
see
got
him
this
ride?
big smile all the way up Carpenter Hill Road.
But
There's a
I
lot
see
of people out of
Williams
Massachusetts,
all the
too.
time. I get lots
Yeah.
of them from Williams that comes down
Yeah.
by.
There's a
Yeah.
whole bike crew that meets at the Spoke in the summer, and they ride one night a week.
Yeah. So, but those are things that, again, I think Pownell has great views for
Yeah.
people like that,
Yeah.
and has great places to do it. So, it's getting us to sell ourselves, and
Be nice to-
instead of
just wrote
selling,
in my
instead of
notes,
our
we're gonna
selling
market
ourselves as the
Pownell's
third
assets.
world,
All right. There you
we
go.
should be
right.
selling us that.
Yeah.
And maybe that will all turn around in the process.
Yeah, yep, that's what we need to do,
Yep.
so. I tell people when I first was trying to clean things up, we used to come to the bookstore that was at the
Yeah,
at the state line. So you had the.
it wasn't just a bookstore, was it?
There was a lot of commodities there that people could buy, and then the next thing
I
is we had
forgot about
the liquor, and then the alcohol, and then the next thing we had was the gambling. That was
Right.
That's
welcome
right,
to Pownell.
yeah.
And then you came up through and we had all the junk along that the guy that used to collect the trash kept along the whole road. And, it's changed a lot. And people don't realize that it has changed a lot already.
Right.
But it takes time. It's like I asked about Green Mountain. The guy's been there 5 years, but if you go there now and look what it was 5 years ago and today, there's a big difference.
Right.
Well, you know, my husband remembers fondly when he was a kid coming over here and hunting pheasant. So when we were looking for houses, he said, "Let's look at Pownell." I always thought I would love to live in Pownell. So.
Yeah, I had a tough time getting Cindy out of Massachusetts too, but we did finally.
Oh, I had no problem.
I'm always recruiting people. Like I know a lot of people who work at Williams, and I say, come to Pownell.
Oh, we used to live in Williamstown before we came here. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm from Vermont. I wanted to come back home.
Great. All right, make a motion, we adjourn.
That was all on our agenda. I'll second it.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We thank you very much for your
Thank you.
presentation.